Things that piss me off about the world. First is exercise. It just hit me recently when I was about to go to a gym. I looked at treadmills and I was like, how ridiculous is it that somebody's gonna hop on a treadmill and start running in place for 20, 30 minutes? Or you're walking in place. That's a fucking literal hamster wheel. We're literally all the memes about work till you die, or we're just cogs in a machine, hamster wheel. This is literally out of a fucking horror movie of where's humanity today? And then they show you a video of somebody in a enclosed room. We have all this earth, all this sun, all this planet, you know, and all this opportunity for people to be coming together, playing games and, all that stuff to naturally get exercise and naturally have fun, naturally do things that build your muscle. Instead, you see somebody running in place, or even worse. I was thinking about just because I used to run, and I did a half marathon last summer. But I'm not interested in running anymore because I'm just I don't know, but I was gonna say it's people running outside. And it's just I was looking at people running and I'm just damn, how sad is it that people are just aimlessly running? They might have a little path, but you just look and they're just they're just running into the abyss just to move their body, because our lives are so dependent on work and not, slaving away instead of actually doing something like kids playing and that sort of thing with your body. Um, and even with weight machines and stuff, how fucking ridiculous is it that you're just sitting in there and you're just isolating muscles. You're just okay. Okay, 10 reps of that. Okay, now this one. 10 reps of that. Okay, now look at my body. Wow, I get my body. I'm oh my God, does anybody else feel this way? It's fucking ridiculous, exercising. And I remember watching a video on a movie where somebody, I forget which country in Africa it was, but he was he came to the US to run long distance, marathons and stuff. And he was I didn't even know that running could be a sport. And I feel that's the core nature of true humanity, where it's running and that's just something you can do for fun. And when you're playing around with people, or whatever the case is, not some sort of weird ass competition, or trying to work out in a fucking room that has air conditioning when there's literally, it's so crazy. We have all this fucking land, and somebody decides to go inside of a room and run on a hamster wheel. Oh my God. Or a bike that stays in place. Oh my God. Or a rowing machine that stays in place. Oh my God. It's all the fucking same. Okay, so that's exercise. That pisses me off. Second thing, what was the second thing? Um, I think, oh shit, I always get nervous on these videos. Okay, so it's exercise. Okay, I think I'm gonna talk about school next, but I think there was something else too. But what I was gonna say about school was, so I just left law school. I withdrew, and I mean I already took on debt, so I have maybe 40 to 50K that I have to start paying off over the next 10 years, $500 a month or something. So that's fun. But what I realized is part of why I hated it, and part of why I think I hate school generally, especially when you're paying for it. Luckily I got a scholarship for undergrad, and obviously I didn't pay for my K through 12, but well, I went to private school, but my parents paid for it, but for a certain period of time in that period. But I'm paying this exorbitant amount of money for someone to test me. I feel I should be reviewing and testing the professor. I'm paying all this damn money. I better walk out knowing every fucking thing under the sun. What the fuck is this stupid ass shit where it's like the professor literally has no responsibility? The professor is just like, oh, I'm just gonna talk in front of this class, and like, yeah, you have like a limited like hour once a week to like ask me questions along with all the other students in the class. And I'm going to like give you an exam. You have no say about the exam. You have no say about how you're being tested on the material, but you're paying a crazy fucking amount of money to be basically bitched, basically being, bitched and like told like what you're gonna know, how you're gonna know it, what you're gonna do. And there's like no room for like you to actually like create your own sort of like curriculum where it's like, okay, I'm paying all this damn money. I should be able to decide like how the fuck I use these resources. Like I want to show up to different classes and, okay, and then maybe not take the exam, or maybe like I want to write an essay for the final, or like I want to like, instead of going to all these classes, I just want to work with the professors on like the case, like in law school, like the cases that they're working on, or the textbooks that they're working on. And however like you want to learn is like however you should be able to do that, and not being bitched into like an irresponsible professor who at the end of the day, and then they make you compete against each other, which is even crazier. It's like I'm basically paying to get bitched and to basically have to fight, fight for a place in a school or in a job area where I'm paying. It's like paying to go to work. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's like paying to like, or no, it's just like, I also see it just like paying for a product. But then when you buy the product tells you what to do. Like, but like, and obviously like there's like some leeway you can give, like say, okay, say I buy like a fucking like personal trainer. I'm gonna give it some leeway in terms of like, okay, like, you can tell me what to do in certain situations. But at the end of the day, I'm the fucking customer, and I get to decide like, hey, personal trainer, like, I don't want to do that shit. I want to do this shit. And whatever you say, it doesn't matter because it's my fucking money out of my wallet, my purse, and I'm paying it. So I get to decide what the fuck I want. It's a service that you're giving me, you know? It's a product, just say, I feel like it should be the same for products. Like when you buy something, you buy these like iPhones or Apple computers, and you can't even like take them apart. They got, I mean, you can if you get all the specific, unique screwdrivers and shit to like undo it, but you can't even like modify the device. You're just stuck with the packaging that you buy. So that was school. So exercise in school pissed me off. I feel like there was another one. Oh yeah, I think the other thing I was gonna say was just like, I feel like like those things where, I used to be excited about exercising, and, I wasn't really excited about school, but at least I was like interested in like learning in a way, I guess. I never really actually liked school, so that might be a lie. So, but I was always interested in learning. I was always interested in education. Education and school are two almost damn near opposite things. But the other thing I was gonna say was like, yeah, I'm like losing interest in things where it's like music, for example, and I make music, right? Now when I like start making a song, and maybe it's because I'm in a place where I am like fighting for my life in a way where it's just like, okay, like I need to make money so that I can move out and pay rent somewhere else. So it's like I'm like in survival mode, and I saw this video where it's like art isn't the same when you're in survival mode. But I'm like making these songs, and I'm like literally putting like the least amount of effort into it. Like not the least amount of effort, but like just enough to like where I get the dopamine hit from like making it, and then just like letting it go. And I don't really fucking care. And then like I could like spend a lot more time with these songs, and then they could be a lot better, but I'm just kind of like, okay, whatever, it is what it is. And then I also like, it's also the same for me, like listening to like artist music. Like I feel like or even like any sort of art, like music, movies, TV shows or whatever, like whatever I'm consuming, it's like for example, like I don't even get me started on this person, but this artist is coming out with an album soon, and I like I like their music, but it's like it's just an example. Like no matter what happens on this next album, it's kind of just like the same shit, just like repackaged differently. Like the movies, all these movies are the same shit repackaged differently, and like the fuck is on my and I just can't deal with this shit anymore where it's like it just doesn't give me the excitement. Like I mean, sometimes like I can listen to a song and like vibe out with it, like, oh, this is a good song, yada 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 yada. But at the end of the day, I'm just like, it's just another fucking song. It's just a temporary like high, I guess. I feel like music is like drugs in a way. Like it's just another drug where you kind of get like high off of the feeling of it, and then it ends, and then you're like, oh, I need another hit, I need another song. um but at the end of the day, it's like, yeah, okay, whatever this artist releases for the new album, it's gonna be like basically the same thing, you know. It's not gonna be anything like crazy revolutionary. Like it's gonna be the same shit, same drums over the same melody, same, just different words, same, basically the same shit over and over. And it's just like, you know, I used to really like Michael Jackson because I felt like when I was growing up, at least, and being a kid is different when you see the world, but, you know, because he died in 2009, so I was like 10 when that happened. I was born in 99. So when I was growing up, though, and I like listened to his music, and then he would come out with albums, for me at least, I felt like they were different enough. Now that I'm looking back on it, I'm like, okay, like they are different, but in a way they are the same, but they are different. I feel like he was a very versatile and very talented artist and performer, so he was very different than a lot of the artists today, which I kind of feel like plays into that whole thing I was saying before about like how I don't even put in effort into things anymore. I feel like artists today, like they don't even put an effort into like performance, like shows. Like it just, I don't know if it's like not financially important for them, but I feel like anytime you see like an artist at a show, maybe that's not all of them, but I feel like the ones that I'll see, a lot of like in hip hop or pop or, you know, like certain, like I'll see like Tate McRae, for example, like it seems like she's like really performing and dancing in a lot of these shows. But like Michael Jackson level performing, I mean, like, you know, like who's like the, or you can even say, I don't really know, I don't really care about Prince, but a lot of people liked him, or a lot of people liked like, who else back in the day? I don't know, a lot of those people, but there's nobody like performing, like they'll like say something and then they'll like put the mic on the ground, or like point the mic to the crowd, or like change the song. You're just like, I remember when artists used to like actually perform the whole song. So yeah, those are just like three things that I've been thinking about. So anybody feels the same way about any of those things, exercise, schooling, and just not feeling like interested in like all these like little drug hits from music and whatever, everything just feels kind of played out at this point, you know? Like even with like fucking, oh my god, Apple, and like I saw the recent like whatever WWDC, or not WWDC, like their announcement for the new iPhone and the fucking glass, like shit. I'm just like, yo, this company hasn't done anything important for the past however long. Like after they, I guess, did the iPhone and iPad, you know, which now looking back on it, it's kind of just like, okay, like it was good. Don't get me wrong. Like it was a great little technology upgrade, but it wasn't like it wasn't done before, and it wasn't. It was just done differently in a way where it was just like they made people like the brand more than the actual product, because the products weren't really. They didn't have all the features, you know. And then forever, they've just been kind of doing the same shit, copying everybody else. AirPods. I don't even like Bluetooth headphones anymore. I feel like those shits give me a headache. Um, Like noise canceling too, especially. Like I used to like that, but now it just feels like it gives me a headache. Um, yeah, everything's kind of played out. And I feel like, oh, this is another thing I wanted to say. People asking like this whole how are you doing? I'm doing fine. How are you? Or like I'm doing well. Like, why isn't it normalized? I mean, I know why, but like we're just lying all the fucking time. Everybody's not good all the fucking time. And it's just like we just lie and say that we're good and like, just to like because everything's based on like commerce and capitalism. You have to keep working. And it's like if you actually tell somebody and like it's like saying like you're injured in a sports game, in a basketball game, right? Coach comes up to you and he's like, how's your finger? Like, is your finger okay? And you're just like, yeah, it's fine. Just so you keep playing and like you don't go out of the game, like you don't get taken out of the game. And then afterwards, you're like, oh shit, like it was broken and I was making it worse while I was playing after I got injured, you know. It's like the same thing. That was a crazy analogy, but it's like the same thing with like life where people are asking, well, how are you doing? And everybody's just like, good, how are you? Or even if somebody was like, I'm okay, like you might ask them like why they're not good. And then it like might, you might get like something out of it. But like, there's just this underlying tone of like everything has to be good all the time. And I think that's just kind of like the ruse, the fucking masquerade, the fucking lie, the fucking show that's being played by the higher ups, where it's like they create this world where everything is supposed to be, although they control you with fear, they create this world where everything's supposed to be good all the time. Everything's improving all the time. It's constant improvement. Everything gets better every day. In reality, it's getting worse and worse and worse. But everything's like always like good and happy and everything. Like the stasis point is happy, but no one's actually ever happy. Like maybe some people are actually happy all the time. I don't fucking know, but I'm definitely not. I feel like everybody goes through their emotions. And then somebody was like, "Yo, how are you doing?" And then you're like, "I had a terrible day." I feel like now it's like you're burdening the other person. Like now they're like, "Oh, okay, like I got enough problems to worry about in my life. Now I got to worry about your problem, or like ask you about your problem." And what the fuck are they gonna do? They're not gonna be your therapist. They're not gonna be your doctor. Everybody's so caught up. Like everybody, it's like no matter what, you're on a time crunch. That's the thing about life. I'm just like kind of freestyling now, but it's a time. It's about time. Everything's time. You need to go back to work. Because like if I talk to you on Saturday, no matter how good our conversation is, I can't talk to you forever because on Monday at 9 a.m. I gotta be somewhere, so I gotta go back home to cook and go back home to wash my clothes and get the house ready and get the work ready for the week and then go to work on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. I finally get a break. Hallelujah. Now Sunday. Oh, I got to get ready for Monday. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, work. Saturday, a little bit off, break. Sunday, whatever. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Okay, maybe after a year, I get a little break. I take a week break of Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday on vacation. Ooh, yeah. Now back to work. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. And it's just like, that's it. Everything's time. Like I'm looking at my phone, 1839, 1840, 1841, 1842. It's like, okay, at some point you got to stop. At some point it's like everything's in time is just, I feel like another illusion. Shit's not real. I was reading like, I want to make maybe a video about this, but I was reading National Institute of Standards and Technology, NIST, and how they keep track of time, how they use like astrology and they use like I was like actually looking into like what is time because like a second is just like a made up thing, right? So I was looking into like how time is manufactured pretty much and like how basically they have times coordinated across like countries and stuff where I was looking at the National Institute of Standards and Technology where it'd be like, oh, like every now and then, like between, it's like the US and France, these are like the main countries. It's always the US and France or the UK, but yeah, US and France, but US is basically UK, US and France coordinating their times and everything's always off by like a second. So they'll like have to add a second to the time or they'll take away a second. So then you're thinking like, this shit is just a fucking big ass joke. Time is just a big ass joke because when you really think about it, like, if you think about it in terms of magnitude, like, okay, seconds, you might be like, oh, whatever, a second. But think about it if it was like a whole day or a whole year, right? Where it's like, oh, I'm just gonna like take away 2026, so now it's 2027. You're just like, wait, what? How is this? Age is just a fucking joke. Age is just not even a number. Like, age is just a number. No, this shit's a joke. It's not even real. Time isn't real. Oh my God. And yeah, it's just like, yeah, I was just looking, I was like, wow, I want to maybe like post a link to it maybe in the description or something, but people that are interested. But yeah, I was just like, maybe if I remember. But yeah, you can look it up too. But I was just like, damn. They're really just like adding time, taking away time, because it's not real. Oh, and I was gonna say, like, the way that they do it, I'm sure people know, some people know, but like, it's basically based off of like how much an atom is like, not an atom, but like electrons are moving around a nucleus or something, like some sort of scientific thing where like how fast, like they chose the element that they were gonna use in like the mid 1900s or something. I'm sure there's a lot more backstory about how it was actually created, but this is the story that they give the mass population of the world is like, they chose whatever element and then they decided, okay, we're going to use this for time, however fast the electrons like move around this thing. It's going to be a second, boom, a second, 32, 33, 34, 35. So that's like how fast the electron is moving. So it could be a situation where the electron, because I don't know if they had a different one before, but it could be like a different one where the electron is like 45, 46, 47, 48, like, and at the end of the day, none of it even fucking matters anyway, because there's such fucking, like, that's the thing about why they're adding and subtracting time and why it's so important that they get the world into like a chipped population connected with technology everywhere, is because they're trying to make all the natural imperfect stuff like perfect slaves, right? Because you need coordination, you need everything to seem black and white. I actually have something else I want to say after this too, so that just reminded me, you need everything to seem black and white so everybody plays your little fucking game. So, you want it to seem like, oh, like when you turn your paper in at midnight, oh, you have to do it before midnight. But then you really think about it, it's like, what does every second actually mean? Because if you think about it, time can't exist also because, say it's like 11:30. It's not even 11:30. Nothing's black and white in this world. Everything's gray. Where it's like, if it's 11:30, it's 11:30 point, 0.00000000000000001. It's really just infinity. Like, it's 11:30 infinity, which means error. There is no time. Because it's like, if it's 11:30 now, you know, and then in another second it's going to be 11:32. It's like, when did y'all get what I'm saying? So yeah, and then, okay, I was going to say something else too, but I want to make sure I hit everything on this piece, because that time thing I feel like is super important that I've always wanted to kind of talk about. So I'm glad YouTube is now the platform that I'm talking about this fucking in my bed. Okay, so the other thing I was gonna say was that everything with time? Oh, the last thing I was gonna say with time was like, how they have, I guess, this experiment or something where it's like, saying like you and your brother have a watch on and it's set to the same time, and then somebody goes to space and comes back. Like, the watches are gonna show two different times. Just like, okay. So this is why the US and France are like coordinating the global time. The global time, it's like the fucking slave master. It's like how you enslave everybody, 24, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30. It's like how you get everybody to be fucking like a slave. It's time. I feel like this could be multiple videos, but hey, fuck it, Okay, so the last thing I was gonna say about the time thing was, oh yeah, the black and white. they make everything seem like it's black and white so that you play into the system, right? I think a perfect example of this, or maybe there's a couple perfect examples, but like I wrote a song about this first example, and then I'll say the second example, which I was thinking about recently. But the one that I wrote in the song was about like maps, right? Where it's like satellite captures images of supposedly, I've never been to space, but supposedly satellites capture images of the Earth, like where the land is, and then you can like use that to like make maps. But where does the map start and where does the map stop? For example, when you think about oceans, like, is there really like one place where the ocean stops and starts? Because the water is always moving. So theoretically, the map should always have like a constant like water line like moving, but they try to make it seem so black and white. The same thing with like borders and everything. It's like never actually black and white. This goes into the second example, which I was going to say about like owning land, about how you have to like buy plots of land, where it's like, I saw somebody and I was like looking for jobs in this area. I forget what they're called again. I think not planners, but the people that go basically out and like measure where like landmarks, like land property lines are, and they measure it, like they get the degrees and put a pin here and put a pin there and put a pin there. It's like no matter where you put the pin to make the line, property line, like it's like the infinity thing with time. Like it's never a point. Points don't exist. Like if you're putting a pole in, okay, then it's like, what is it? The fucking circumference of the pole that's included in the property? Is it like the centerpiece of the pole that's included? But even if you think about the centerpiece, it's like, where does the center actually begin and end? And like, is it, the land is always shifting and always moving. And, if you like really like look at it like a line, like which don't exist, but like if you look at, say, like a line, a property line, it's like, okay, a line doesn't exist, right? Like, so for example, say the line, like you draw a line and it's this thick, or you say you draw a line and it's this thick, or say you draw a line and it's like microscopic thick. Like no matter how far you go, the line will never actually be a line, because there's always an infinite number of places in between 2 points. So if I can get, this is kind of crazy math, but like, y'all get what I'm saying? Like if like you look at this line, it's like no matter how much you zoom in, or I guess no matter how much this line gets like smaller and smaller and smaller, you'll always be able to zoom in and basically create it to that same size, right? So my point is, with the property lines, it's like there's never actually a real line. It's not black and white. There's never a real line. And it's, yeah, there's, you can't say, oh, this is my land and this is your land, because at what point this is, okay, so is this my land and this your land? And then is this my land, this your land, this mine, this yours, this mine, this yours, it's ours. There is no difference. It's all one. With the land moving, with the no existence of lines, infinite space between points. So, and then the cherry on top that I'll put to wrap this up is everyone in this world is controlled by the idea that things are black and white. I think I want to make another video about language, because I feel like language is one of the most violent things to exist. It's one of the most violent things, and I think it's important that it's called spells and spelling, and, because these are like dangerous weapons that I think separate humanity more than they connect them. I think it's like technology, where it seems like words are connecting us, but in reality, they're just lines of separation between us. So that was kind of like a freestyle rant at the end of all that, but hopefully y'all enjoy. Let me know what you want to see in another video. I feel like I can also like talk about my life more. Like, I was gonna make a video about like my coming out story, like how I feel about like how it's non-binary. I think I talked about it in another video where it's like, what does it even mean at this point? You know, like I feel like the meaning and everything has kind of been lost. But yeah, hit 30 minutes. So let's wrap it up. Peace.